Word of the day? No word of the day? Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie. You first, Chris, and then me, right? Hello and welcome to the Sisandra Show. It's now time for breaking news. This segment, we're talking all things DNC. The speeches, the surprises, and of course, those unforgettable moments that everyone's buzzing about. So grab your bubbly beverage and settle in because we've got a lot to unpack. Joining us to discuss what this all means for the future of our country and the 2024 election is Orange County Supervisor of Elections, Mr. Wes Hodge. I'm wonderful. How are you?
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for joining me. Please have a seat. Yes. Yes. What a
Love
time
it.
to be alive, right?
Absolutely.
We love it. So first off, what did you think of the send-off for President Biden?
Well, I think that it was a nice expression of thanks and gratitude. You know, President Biden has done a lot. He's, brought our country forward, and it was a nice way for us to say thank you to him
Yes.
for being so gracious and realizing that, he was the interim president to get us to where we need to go, and that he graciously stepped down. He put country ahead of himself.
Yes, he
and
did.
that was a big thank you and send-off on behalf of the Democratic Party.
Yes, I think we did a fantastic job sending him off, right?
Yes.
So Vice President Kamala Harris made a surprise appearance that had the crowd roaring.
Yep.
Do you think this was a power move to assert her presence and readiness to take the reins, or was it more about rallying the base?
Well, listen, this is her show, right? Like, this entire week is building to her on Thursday night. So it was a great, the crowd wants to see the vice president.
Yes.
And so they're clamoring for it.
Yes.
So when she showed up on Monday night and gave a little impromptu speech, that was just to give the crowd exactly what they wanted.
Yes.
I'm excited to watch every night as this has gone through this week, but I can't wait to hear from her on Thursday night.
I know, right? The anticipation is got us on the edge of our seats. So Hillary Clinton's speech had the crowd chanting, "Lock him up." Y'all remember he used to say, lock her up, right?
Yeah.
In reference to former President Trump. How do you think this moment will play out in the media? And do you think it helps or hurt Kamala Harris?
I think it's important to remind Americans that Donald Trump has convictions, felony convictions, right now. And this is a distinction between him and the vice president. This is a man that in 2016 and 2020 was campaigning about, how horrible the Democrats are and they're breaking laws and they're doing all these things. We've got to lock them up. And yet, guess what? He was the one breaking the laws.
34 felons.
Yes, 34 felonies. It's absolutely crazy.
Felonies, yes.
Yes. So I think, again, we have to remind the American people exactly who Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are so that they know when they go to the ballots in November, there's a distinct choice here, and the Democrats are here to represent America.
So it's something we just got to do. We got to do the facts. We have to tell the facts, right?
Absolutely.
So Michelle Obama didn't hold back when she referenced Trump's infamous black jobs comment, calling it out for what it was. Check this out, y'all. Right.
Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
So who's going to tell him?
I think Michelle Obama just did.
We just told him, right?
That's
That was a
right.
rhetorical question.
That's right.
So how do you think her decision to bring that up plays into the broader conversation about race and leadership in America?
There are two distinct parties right now, and we have the Democratic Party, which represents opportunity and growth, and we have another party in the Republicans that any time a person of color or a woman gets ahead, they just, that's DEI. And they're trying to dismiss it. They're trying to suppress people. And one of my best portions about her speech last night was, here are two qualified individuals and her husband who just happen to be black.
Right.
And it just drives Republicans absolutely crazy. And so we, again, have to keep reminding voters, there is one party that wants to build a bigger party and a great country for all of us, and there's one party that just, this is just our ball, and if you don't want to play with us, go home, you know.
Right.
We need to build an inclusive country, and that's
We
what
most
need to do.
definitely need to do that. I loved what former President Obama said. He said the sequel is always worse. Now, is that something that we want to get into? Do you think people they've tend to forgotten the things that we went through with President Donald Trump?
It seems
Most
to
people
be.
are like, well, he gave us the stimulus checks. And it's like, no, he really didn't. He wasn't the one. Help explain that. So
Yeah.
I need our people to understand about the stimulus check.
Yeah, so his name might have been on that check that
And
we
he
all
wanted his
got.
name on
He
that
wanted
check.
it there.
Yes.
But remember that it took a global pandemic for us to get there.
Yes.
And we had to shut our country down in order for that to happen. And while, yes, you know, it underlines exactly what we're talking about here. You know, people are so struggling economically that was a lifeline to them.
Yes.
And they grasped at it. Now, imagine if we could build an economy that just helps the entire middle class grow and helps all of us benefit. You know, that's what we're trying to remind people of. Yes, that one-time check was great, but let's get you a better job. Let's get you a better paycheck and build wealth.
Yes.
That's what we need to do. And we need to remind people that the Republicans want to go backwards and the Democrats are ready to go forwards and bring you along on the ride.
We have to remind you all of that. We're being reminded ourselves too. So Barack Obama praised Kamala Harris as a fighter for the working class Americans. How do you think his endorsement with such a strong focus on her background and values will influence voters who may still be undecided?
Well, it's important to remind the voters she's one of us, right?
Yes.
Let's look at Donald Trump. His daddy gave him a real estate empire. He got a casino in Atlantic City that went bankrupt,
They
by the
not
way.
like us.
How does a casino even go bankrupt?
I don't know.
Neither do I. But we have to remind people he's not one of us. He is so out of touch. When was the last time you think he was in a grocery store buying milk?
Oh God, never.
Never.
They're not like
Never.
us. They're not like us.
Not at all.
He's not like us. And
Yes.
to make sure people understand that defining line of what his life has been like and what she has grown up and become, she's evolved into this person. She has taken that path that most normal people take to get to the highest office in the world.
Absolutely. And then think about all of the barriers that she has had to overcome.
Yes.
Not only being a woman, but being a woman of color. And she's had to fight twice as hard to get half the recognition as everybody else.
Yes.
And
You're
so, yeah.
speaking to the choir. You know that, right?
Absolutely,
As they say,
absolutely.
you're preaching to the choir.
Absolutely. But we've got to remind the voters
Yes.
exactly what we have here. And we have Kamala Harris that represents us.
Yes.
And we want to elevate her to the highest office
Yes,
in the
we
land.
do,
Yes.
Kamala. So let's talk about Representative Jasmine Crockett.
All right.
Okay, she had the crowd in stitches and tears with her speech. Do you think her rising profile within the party signals a new era of leadership that's more relatable and media savvy?
I think so, because she is part of this new generation of elected officials, right?
Yes.
She's very savvy when it comes to social media and
Yes.
utilizing it for her benefit. So yeah, I think absolutely. Don't forget what 16, 20 years ago, we had a young senator from Illinois that had a nice primetime speech at the DNC, and he ended up being president just a few years later. So I think that, yes, she has a great opportunity to rise nationally for sure.
Tell us who that was 16 years ago.
I think that was Barack Obama.
Y'all better come on. You know your history. So Hillary Clinton mentioned that the Democrats have Trump on the run, but polls show a slim lead for Kamala Harris. Do you think there's a danger of overconfidence, or is this just the kind of rallying cry the party needs?
You need to have that to get the voters engaged and fired up, right? Like, we've got to motivate our worker bees to get out there and get the voters motivated. However, always run like you're 20 points behind.
Yes.
Never take anything for granted. Look at what happened in 2016. We have to look no further than that.
Come on.
So we have got to continue to knock on doors, talk to our friends, talk to
Yes.
our neighbors, talk to our aunts and our grandmas and our sisters and our brothers and our cousins. we've got to make sure that everybody knows what's on the line, and we've got to get everybody to the polls this November.
Most definitely. What do you think the difference is between getting people up and moving this election in comparison to the election with Obama? Because everyone seems like they were right out the door.
They were. They were.
Now, are we having that same kind, or it looks like we're having it, but it's not really there yet?
It's not really there yet, but I feel like we're building it, right? I think that there's the momentum is solidly here now. We're feeling it, but we got to continue to do the work.
Yes.
And the great thing is, in a state like Florida, we have an opportunity with Amendment 3 and Amendment 4, recreational marijuana and the rights for a woman to control autonomy over her body, abortion. Those are two great other items to bring people to the polls.
Yes.
So we have those two items plus Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket. There's a really good opportunity to have a strong Democratic showing here in Florida.
Yes, we're excited about that. So the DNC seems to be going, for a drama-free vibe. But do you think it's realistic given the high stakes of this election and the intense emotions of both sides?
Listen, we love no drama. But TV loves drama.
Of course,
TV
love
loves
TV drama.
But again, we've got to have a serious conversation here. And there's a lot at stake for us as a country. And so while it is important to try to make sure that everybody's on the same page, we do need to work and really get people energized, and that's where the drama comes in.
Yes.
We'll get Rep Crockett again.
You know what? And she's so good. She said she's going to keep coming back more and more. She went from the bad butch, whatever, to last night she had another one, and it's just nonstop. She's making the shirts for it. She's doing everything. And the first thing I want to do, too, before we take a little short break, I want y'all to understand we have some cool little shirts, and they have Kamala's names so you can understand how to say it. So it's a comma, and it's the word la. Kamala. Kamala. So Kamala. Can we say Kamala?
Kamala.
Kamala. Everybody say Kamala.
Kamala.
Say it a little louder.
Kamala.
Kamala Harris. Listen, let's get the name right. Let's understand what she stands for. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an honor to have you here. We hope that you will come back because we need to get people moving. Y'all need to vote. Is it too late to register?
No, it is not. You have until the beginning of October.
To the beginning of October. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. You have until October. welcome back to the Sissandra Show. Listen, it's time to welcome a true powerhouse to our lavender couch. Our next guest is an unstoppable force in the entertainment world. She's an actress, filmmaker, TV host, and even a children's book author. From dazzling audiences as the queen at medieval times to producing films that leave you on the edge of your seat, she's done it all. So let's give a huge round of applause and bring out the incredibly talented and oh so fabulous Christina Carmona. I am fantastic. I'm so delighted to have you here. When I tell you, I've been dreaming about going to medieval times, and then they just came and sat you on my couch.
You manifested it.
I
manifested
did.
it.
We have no excuse. We are coming to see you. So listen, you've had such a diverse career in the entertainment industry, acting, writing, filmmaking, hosting. What was the moment you realized you wanted to do all of these things?
To be honest, it was ever since I can remember, ever since I was little. I used to actually watch the Sally Jesse Raphael show when I was...
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, and I actually thought I was her. So my mom, she worked with children, so she ran like her own daycare. And so I would sit down all of the kids, I would say, this is what your issue is, and then this is what you are, and I'm the host.
You talk to me, I love it.
So I was doing this ever since I can remember.
Really? As they say, you were born for it.
Yeah.
Right? So writing a children's book is such a unique pivot from your work in film and television. What sparked your inspiration to write Theodore and Otis find their forever home, and how does it connect with your other creative passions?
So I actually started with writing. I was 12 years old when I started writing poetry, and then I went to short stories, and then it turned into screenplays. When it came to the book, my late father, we were both walking our dogs, and Theodore is my dog and Otis was his.
Aww.
Yeah, and we were like, what a cool story that would make.
Yes.
And so he fell ill, but I decided to keep on writing the book.
I'm so sorry about your father.
I appreciate that. Thank
you.
you.
Manifested with the book.
Absolutely, he sure did. So he pushed me, and I got to read him the first story. And he said, Christina, you have to do it. You have to keep on. So I did, and I didn't realize that I would love it so much. And then it turned into my second book. I have a little. Yeah, I have the first one.
Right here. The third one. Is this an exclusive?
I have the first one. Yeah, this is the first one. This is their origin story.
This is amazing.
And so I loved it so much that I made it a series. So this is the first in their series.
This is amazing. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
And you can carry the legacy of your father with you too.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Can I put this one here, or you want to keep that
You
one?
absolutely, you can have it. You can whatever.
Look, I'm a klutz now.
There we
Hold
go.
on. So you've been at the helm of the 48-hour film project in Orlando for a while now. What's one of the most surprising or unexpected things that have happened during the project?
All right, so the 48-hour film project is exactly that. Write, shoot, and edit a film in 48 hours.
Wow.
Yes, and you don't even know what genre you're going to have until kickoff,
That's
right?
exciting.
So the coolest part about it is that you have these filmmakers doing all of this within 48 hours, and the stuff that comes out of these filmmakers is absolutely brilliant.
I can't believe you.
The fact that you can put this all together in 48 hours is just a testament to what you can do. So if you're like, no, I'm going to wait till next year or, 2 months from now. No, you can do this in 48 hours.
Yes, these people will show you that, no, you can do this in 2 days.
100%. It shows you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we tend to do that. It's like, oh no, I need to work on it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it's like, just put your heart into it and put it out.
Right, you put a time frame on something and
Yes,
everybody's like
put
going
that
for it.
stamp on it and keep it moving. So your role as the queen at the medieval times must have been such a blast. Yeah. How do you channel that medieval energy into your life, into everything that you do?
Oh man, it's a lot of fun, and it's an honor because this story with medieval times, it was actually historic for the company. They never had a sole queen.
Really?
So yeah, never had a sole queen, and I came in right in there to help open up that show.
You did that thing. When I tell you,
thank you.
Congratulations to you.
So it's wonderful. It's one of those things. I'm an actress, and working at medieval times, it helps that muscle. You keep it going, and even though it's the same show, the crowds are different.
Exactly. So no matter what,
You're
you
always
have
getting
the
some.
people to please.
Right.
I was in Cirque du Soleil La Nuba for 10 years, and it was just like, we would say Groundhog Day. It was the same show
yeah.
every day, but we'd walk out and you see the faces and they were different. So that made it special for us every day. It took away the monotony of what we may think was like the everyday thing.
And it keeps you, going on that same level because of the fact that there are people, even though we've been doing it for so long, there are people seeing it for the first time.
Correct. It's so true. So every time is a new experience.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So you've hosted and co-produced, I don't know when you get sleep, child. You hosted and co-produced shows like Indie Cinema Showcase and Destination Orange County. What's been your favorite interview or moment on set, and why did it stand out to you?
Oh, that's so hard. We have such fantastic guests, to be honest. One of the most standout episodes that I actually got to do was we went to Kim Kahana. He's a stunt legend. We went to his stunt school, and they lit a guy on fire for us. I mean, they drugged someone with a truck. I mean,
with a truck?
Yes. It was amazing. Really
fun.
getting to see what stunt men do was absolutely fantastic. Fantastic people.
That's so amazing.
Yes.
You're living a crazy cool life.
I try.
So as the CEO of Bad Kitty Films, I like that.
Thank you.
Bad Kitty Films. What's your vision for the stop?
Let's do it again.
That was so good. What was your vision for the company, and how do you see it evolving in the next few years? That was so wild, child.
So honestly, it just goes back to when I was in high school. I was in TV production, so I was the anchor for the school news and the entertainment.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that's where that really took motion. And so I love the Cheshire Cat. So I was like, Bad Kitty Films, that's going to be my thing. And I just really wanted to showcase the fact that like a female can lead in this industry.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be.
You're doing it. I can, baby. She's doing it.
and it doesn't have to be, in the way people think too, because I do like my glitter, I like my fedoras, and then I could still go backstage and pick up a camera or light up some, I don't know, breaking molds, and I just really wanted to do that with my company. So. Well,
you're doing that. And we're loving watching you do it and looking forward to continuing watching you do it in the highest level, on the highest level. So you've coordinated media events for major shows like The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and Netflix, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. How do you keep things running smoothly during such high-profile events?
That's really hard. So it takes a lot of people.
Yes.
A lot of people and letting everybody cook in their own kitchen. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah. You go ahead and make that.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and work on the hors d'oeuvres. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So yeah, it takes a lot of that, but you can't forget how fun it is.
That part.
We have to remember, like, at the end of the day, when we're picking colors for Jimmy Fallon's couches and stuff, like, what are we doing? This is the coolest thing. And the greatest thing about Jimmy Fallon, like, we got all of Universal Studios characters, all of them at one time to line a red carpet. That was a magical moment for me.
Awesome.
And when Jimmy Fallon came out, as many celebrities as he's a celebrity himself. He walked out on that red carpet and he was just so grateful and so thankful.
Gracious to everyone. Kind. Yes.
It was
so
amazing.
Cool. That's so important when you're working with people on that.
Yes, because the last thing you want is to like really look up to someone and then meet them and then it's disappointing.
They're just not cool to you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But he was great.
That's so good to hear. Okay. So balancing all these roles from filmmaking to being in-game host for the Osceola Magic, how do you stay creative and keep your energy up? Girl, what's your secret to juggling so many exciting projects?
Mondays. Mondays are me days.
Don't call you on Mondays.
No. Mondays are me days. And I do really look at the time that I have and I really make sure that I have those days because as an entertainer, we're pouring out
all the time.
We are givers.
Yes.
We definitely are givers.
Yes.
So it's important for me to just take that moment to refresh. And it does seem like I do a lot, and I do. Oh, it's me. I didn't even.
That is you, girl.
To me, with my crown. That's what.
Stunning.
I was just distracted. But yeah, so it's just super important to do that because we need to recharge because we are such givers.
Yes.
And for me, I don't say no and all of these things.
But you say no on Mondays.
I say no on Mondays.
Okay,
right?
I love that. Now, Christina, before we go, tell us, what would you say to your younger self? Take a moment and think about it. The person that you are today, the person that you were then, what would you say to her?
Anything is possible. As a little girl growing up in the projects of the South Bronx, who thought like it would be so hard to do any of that because all the shows that I saw had white picket fences and big houses, it's possible.
It's possible. You
It's
don't have to
possible.
have the white picket fence.
Absolutely
Nor the
not.
big house. You just got to have ambition
Yes.
and a heart to go
So
after
keep
it.
going.
Yes, I love that. So you're
Yeah.
telling her to keep going.
going.
Little girl, you just keep on going.
That's
Look
right.
what you're going to turn out to be. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. It's time for us to say goodbye for now, but we welcome you back anytime, and we wish you the best of luck
I
in
hope
your
to be
future.
back, and I hope to see you at the castle.
Oh, I'm coming to the
Yeah.
castle, boo. Listen to our viewers. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. For the culture, would you please get us
We out of here,
Chris.
sis. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in today. Everybody just scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen now. Because we've got so much more exclusive content for y'all right here, only on the Sisandra Show. Thank you so much, first of all, for tuning in, hanging out on the beautiful Camarosa set. And thank you so much for hanging with our amazing guests. I want to remind you, we are streaming on now. So until next time, stay beautiful, love one another, and we'll be right here, only on the Sisandra Show.